So I first came across Tara's name almost 10 years ago, actually, when I was browsing the new in section of the Browns fashion website. It was almost a ritual that we did with the team back then. And Tara's bags stood out. They were fun, they were colorful, they were different. And it was one of those it bags. And a few weeks later, everyone in the office was wearing them. Fast forward a couple of months, by chance, I end up in her showroom in Paris, meet her in person, and the whole brand makes sense. Fast forward 10 years, we then get reconnected in a completely different capacity. Tara is now doing, focusing on PR events. I am looking for someone to help me launch my podcast, put it together, and we're introduced, and I witness firsthand. Because to be honest, I did not have much of an experience, or I wasn't very close to the world of PR and marketing in the offline world. So I didn't really know much about it, and perhaps I somewhat underestimated it as well. And so I really witnessed firsthand how Tara can create an event, curate an experience, bring the right people into the room. And it just showed me the power of PR and marketing when it's done right, when it's done with emotion and values. And I'm so grateful to her, because she took something that was deeply personal, pretty much happening behind the scenes, and helped me birth it into the world. So thank you, Tara.
Hello, thank you for having me. Thank you so much. And thank you for this lovely introduction. It's something so behind the scenes also. So I think you witnessed the process also, rather than just seeing the final thing, final event, a thing put together like a guest. Since you're the founder, we worked on it together. It's all these little things and how you get to the final result, even the guest selection and the selection of flowers, the colors, and just putting something together has so many different little elements to it that, you were part of the process. I think that what made it special, what opened your eyes on maybe the whole thing, rather than just seeing the final result.
Yeah, it's exactly that, because throughout the whole process, I could literally see your brain at work, the things you were thinking about, the questions you were asking me. And we will get to that, but yes. I want to rewind to the very beginning. I think your love for design and style and fashion is really apparent in everything that you do and you wear and how you do things. And I'm really curious to know, where does that come from?
Listen, it's without a doubt, I have to say it's the way I was brought up and the people around me, meaning my parents, and my grandparents. My parents divorced. I was very young. I was 5 years old. And I already remember then we were living in London, and then we moved to Paris a year after, my mom with my little brother and me. And myself, and when we bought a place, an apartment in Paris, I already remember when my mom was choosing the colors, the tapisserie, every little detail. Like, we had this long corridor, it was dark red. My mother's bedroom, it was like this fabric, dark yellow with these marja on elephants, quite exotic. The library room, library room. It was dark green with gold finishes. I mean, everything was just so. I witnessed that, and then that's my mother, and then my mother's style also. She's a big fan of Yoji Yamamoto, Marni, Comme des Garçons. Quite eclectic yet elegant and edgy.
Quite striking.
Well. And she passed on so many pieces to me. I mean, even my grandmother passed on a lot of pieces to me. And then my father is very creative. He has a bit of a, I don't know how to call it, a bit of a sickness, I would say. He's moved every single year of his life. I mean, he's calmed down now, but he's moved, in different houses, different cities, countries. And every time he has the need to rebuild interior design, adding a room, changing the doors, and also furniture design. Everything in his house has been designed by him.
Wow.
He never made a living out of this. It's just it's his passion.
Yeah.
It's just who he is, who he's always been. And you know, he has a collection of sunglasses. I can't even tell you how many he has, of hats. So he's very stylish also. So I think I grew up with that. So both my parents, and then from my mom's side, yeah, like I was saying, my grandmother. And then I spent a lot of my childhood in Tehran. Again, our house in Tehran is really like, I don't know, it's very, very special. Every room is different. Every room has a story. So yeah, as we say in French, j'ai baigné dedans. I really like, I grew up in this. I was constantly surrounded by design, fashion. My mom's brother is a big, I mean, he's a painter, he's an artist, he's represented by Gagosian. So yeah, I really, I really grew up in this kind of environment. Yeah.
I think it all makes sense now.
Yeah.
You know how they sometimes say when you meet the parents of a friend, then you understand the person.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, I haven't met them, but you've described enough for me to have
A lot of
picture.
people didn't know my father, and so at my wedding, I think, yeah, and my mother had this like gold dress and this beautiful jewelry, and my dad had this. He walked me down another aisle. It was outside, but he walked me down, and he has this circle, sunglasses, and like he's just his attitude. Everyone's like, oh my god, your dad.
Makes sense.
That's
Yeah.
your dad.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So when you're now choosing your pieces for your home or for your outfits, what do you look out for?
I mean, I have a very eclectic style. It's true that now I do things, I think also not just for myself, but my husband. We do things together, and thankfully we have a similar taste. But yeah, things with a story, authenticity. I've been very lucky. I've traveled a lot, so in our house we have pieces that come from Morocco, Tunisia, Egypt. Yeah, a lot of pieces from the Middle East. And I mean, I was in Mexico, brought a bunch of stuff from Mexico last year. So yeah, it's really like, I do consider myself like because I have such a multicultural background, still very hard for me to say where I come from, because I do feel very Iranian, but I've never lived there, and I'm such a foreigner for the Iranians. So I do have a bit of this identity crisis, but yes, it's a lot of things through my travels, just little markets, the souks, the bazaars, niche, like yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to all of that.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
love it.
yeah.
For me, it's the best. Getting lost in the markets, finding a unique piece.
And then everything tells a story. You see pieces, you're like, oh, this is when I was traveling then with this person.
Exactly.
Like, it's memories,
Yeah. It's like, you walk around your home and each item throws you back to
Definitely.
like a moment.
I love that. I feel very like, sensitive to these kind of things. Yeah.
And so with the bags, I really want to know what was the inspiration.
Yes.
What was going on in your mind?
So before I started the brand, so I was the art director for a magazine, for the Gentleman's Journal here in London, and then I was the art director for Whitewall magazine. And while I was working for the magazine, for a long time I wanted to have my own brand, but I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do. I mean, I studied at Parsons in New York, graphic design. Like, of course, there was also a fashion, I could have majored in fashion. I didn't want to. Like, I always wanted to work with typography and imagery. So this really came later on. I mean, you dream as a little girl, maybe, oh, I want to have my brand. But it was nothing, like, very specific. It was more of a dream. And I was going a lot to Iran. And on this particular trip where I took my husband, he came with me many times, luckily. And on this one specific trip, my mom took us around. So we went to Isfahan, we went to Shiraz. And there's this, in Iran, the landscapes and the architecture is just, it has so much history, the Persian history, the Persian Empire, like the palaces, the mosques, the striking colors, geometric forms. And then just everything just made sense. And I was always known to collect these like, I don't know, quirky, not designer handbags, but more like these mini handbags or like little clutches from
Like
vintage or
yeah.
like from souks or
Yeah,
bazaars. It
yeah.
was really like my memories from traveling in these little markets. No designer bags really. So I was known to have these like kind of, funky bags. So it was very natural for me when we were when we were on this trip, and I told my husband, was like, oh my God, I'm gonna design handbags. They're gonna be these like geometric forms, like circle. My it bag was this circle bracelet bag, and the brass. If you remember the brass, the gold brass on the bracelet was circle, square, and triangular. And so that became, and then with the circle leather bag, that became my it bag, and yeah, my signature piece, let's say. But yes, it was after this specific trip. I took my little notebook with all my crayon, my colored crayon, and just started sketching. That's just how it happened. And then, of course, I don't have a background in in fashion specifically. So like the technicality of it was something very unknown for me. So I had to find a design studio that was going to bring my 2D drawings to life, basically, yeah. Because there's certain things that I wanted to do, and they're like, that's not possible. It's not it's not functional. Like you can't. This can't work. So it's like working with the artisans and creating something that's going to be beautiful, my vision, yet functional. Sellable also.
I love that story because, in history books, you always hear these stories of like artists traveling to different countries and feeling inspired and coming back with all of these ideas. And you think, oh, in today's world, that's not so. We're so exposed to everything that we're almost immune to it.
Like you lose touch with the real thing. Yeah.
But actually, you can still have these moments where you go and you're so immersed in something that maybe you've seen it before, but then you're seeing it for the first time under a different light.
Absolutely. That's exactly what happened.
And
because
it touches you.
I had been many times before to Shiraz, Isfahan. I saw these palaces. I saw these mosques before. But being there also with my husband was such a special moment. And I think, we both we uplift each other. He was leaving he was working at Deloitte in like forensic investigation. He was starting his own business in food tech. So we were both really pushing each other, sharing ideas, and
for creativity.
I mean, it was such a special moment. Brand, I mean, it was really under the radar because I had to develop it first, do the samples, go to all these different fairs, Premier Vision, choose the leathers, all the brass, whatever. So it was
all the
an
supply,
ongoing there's so many little things,
technical things that you don't even think about.
You don't even think about everything, all the different components,
Especially when you're creating something new.
Yeah.
There isn't like a standard piece or, I don't know.
Also, where is the production going to be? How do I want to, what's the name going to be? How do I put that on the, what does it look like?
Like, how do people recognize it
exactly.
It being
so many little things. So yeah, it was just, such a special time. Honestly.
And how long did you do that for, the brand?
The brand, so I launched it on Moda Operandi a week before my wedding. So summer 2017, my husband launched his company then. We both launched both our businesses at the same time just before our wedding.
While planning a wedding.
Can you believe it? Like really, it was it was really just special. I only have good memories of that time.
The energy of new beginnings.
Exactly.
For both of you.
And of course it was stressful, but it was like good stress. It was exciting, and the fact that I was going to, because I had a friend that worked at Moda Operandi, and she was like, once you have the design, because I was telling her about it, she's like, once you have your samples, please share them with me. And she's like, wow, this is something. And I was like, oh my God, really? And she's like, okay, we're going to have your trunk show on this day. I was like, wow, that's a week before my wedding. Okay, great. Let's do it, Because the trunk show, went on for like a couple months. And then I had to start production because it was pre-order, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah. It was great. It was really fun time. Yeah, so for how long I had the brand? I started summer 2017 and I closed it summer 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was the I guess the decision, the pivot there?
You know, I think you have to be very, very, very passionate to have a fashion brand. And I wasn't. I lost passion for it. I kind of started losing myself also because the thing is that, listen, of course, I worked hard, and the thing is that this signature piece, I was really lucky to hit
Yeah.
that point, and
So soon and so
so
quickly.
soon,
Yeah.
too soon, if you want
Yeah.
my opinion, way too soon. I didn't have the capacity and the mental, like, yeah, mental space for that. I mean, it was a good problem to have when you think about it, because of course everybody was wearing it. I was contacted by all these stylists, PRs, and
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. I mean, and it was a different time also. Retail, the pre-COVID, I mean, just to give you an idea, Net-a-Porter, Brown, Selfridges, they all bought my first collection. I was
Yeah.
unknown.
Yeah.
So they took risks on new designers, which is not the case
doesn't
today.
happen
No.
anymore. No.
So it was a different time, and I'm a yes girl. I was just saying yes to everything. Buyers would ask for, I don't know, this color wave and this, and I was
Yeah.
just saying yes to everything. You don't do that. Like, I mean, it's like a headache when it comes to production. And of course, I was the production manager, and
And
I
you
was
didn't know.
I didn't know, and I was making so many mistakes. I was not ordering enough like red leather, so then it delayed the production, so then it
Yeah.
delayed delivery, and oh my god, like,
The
and I was,
logistical nightmare
of course, and
production.
the thing is, I think I took things a bit for granted also. My friends who had brands were like, Tara, this is not normal. Like,
Yeah.
don't take this for granted. You need to work hard. You need to restructure. You need to take a second and like refocus. And I was just like, what's happening? Like, and also I was like having a lot of fun on the side.
Yeah.
Like I just got married. And I was still traveling a lot, so. And I didn't sit down and allocate my, I was very fortunate. My mom, it was a donation that she gave me. And so I wasn't like, okay, I'm going to allocate this amount of money to marketing,
Yeah, like
production,
proper budgeting,
no. And I don't want to say I was naive, because I was 30 years old and I shouldn't be naive at that time. But, people grow different ways. And I think I still was very naive at that time. And I
It was
had
just all new to you.
very new
Yeah.
and very exciting.
Yeah.
So I was just
So
like,
you were in the
wow,
moment.
yeah, exactly. You're in the moment.
But I think there's
It's
something
hard.
beautiful about that.
Yeah,
Like,
there's something
would you
very
do
innocent.
it differently?
I would.
You would?
I would.
Okay.
I totally would. I would. I have no regrets.
Yeah.
Absolutely no regrets. I'm such in peace with. I had such a beautiful run, and my mom still tells me, and she's very proud of me, because I feel bad also that so much money was lost, but I did create something beautiful, and it did enable me to have a foot in this industry. And I met so many amazing people, and people were so supportive. So it wasn't a failure. I don't see it as a failure, and I shouldn't. But ultimately, the thing is that I got pregnant in beginning of 2019, and while I was pregnant, I was still going to Italy every month. At that time, I had moved my production from Spain to Italy, and like I was having these panic attacks because I felt like this like young kid that was not being taken seriously, and I had so much delay with my production, and like it was some brands were like, okay, we're gonna give you like penalties, and like you're gonna have to give us a discount because I was being late. And once I was 2 months late with Net-a-Porter, that considerably reduces your shelf life, and then things go on sale, and so it's a bit
Then
of
the
a mess.
consequences of like the seasonality and
Absolutely.
like, there's like a knock-on effect that
Absolutely.
you can't.
So you really have to be on top
avoid.
of things, and I
Yeah.
think my biggest regret is not having a production manager,
Someone to lead
or
that
also a
process.
business
Yeah.
person. I'm
Yeah.
such a creative mind, and I'm all over the
Yeah.
place. Yeah. So, but honestly, it was amazing. It was really, really like enriching. I
Yeah.
learned so much, met so many amazing people, and it was an amazing time. It was a great time. But then when I gave birth, I was like, I'm gonna give myself a season off, and then I gave birth. I was just I was delivering my SS20 collection to all the retailers, and bam, COVID hit, and I was like, you know what, this is the perfect occasion, perfect excuse
Yeah.
to just silently take a step back. That's
Take a pause.
exactly what happened. I didn't even close the chapter in a way, like publicly, let's say. I just little by little, just I started.
Phased it out.
I wasn't selling with retailers anymore. I mean, after that delivery, and then like whatever stock I still had, I was like gifting it to my friends, selling it, like doing pop-ups. and then I just quietly
Yeah.
stopped it. It
Retreated.
just like little by little, just
Yeah.
naturally just like
Yeah.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think sometimes that's fine, you know.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be a big thing.
I
like-
know. I mean, yeah. I silently, yeah. And I don't know if I would have not done that differently.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
And do you think becoming a mother changed your approach to work, or at least what you want from your career?
The thing is that now what I do, and I think we'll touch on that maybe later, but I mean, definitely as a mother, my pace has changed, and I'm a bit more conscious on of my time and the things that I pick, you know. Um, but for example, now that I do a lot of events in Dubai, I try to go for like 2 3 nights rather than stay a whole week. Although you know it is tiring with the flight time and the time difference, so I try to be as much present as possible. But I do know that I still travel too much. But the thing is that I don't only do events in London. I do events all over, and we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I think it's my time management and um, yeah, and choosing things and being more conscious with my time.
So actually, let's jump into
Yeah.
PR.
Yes.
So PR enters the picture again quite naturally. You told me the story.
Yes.
But yeah, if you can explain how it all happened.
Of course. So this was I was pregnant with my second. Actually, this was a time where I wasn't doing the bags anymore. I was at home with my son Gabriel. It was still COVID, I think, even or like towards the end of it. And Leila Hadiwi, that was just starting her face fitness platform, she was coming to London, staying at my house, and it was like, could you please introduce me to a PR that could just do like a kind of little activation, like a lunch, and just gather a group of women, you know, not necessarily like with big followers, not just like influencers, but you know, like a nice mix of people. And I was like, I can do that for you. Let me do that for you. I would love to, you know. And I have nice connections with different restaurants, so they give me a good deal. And so yeah, so I hosted this lunch for her at Isabel. Actually, I think it was a breakfast. And I brought we were like 30 women, press, female founders, influencers, whatever. It was like a nice group of diverse women, and everybody was so excited to be out and about and mingle. And of course, I communicated on social media. All the guests did. That's how it started. And then little by little, I started doing like maybe one event a month, but it was like friends of friends.
Yeah, asking
Asking me, yeah,
oh,
to
you
do
did this,
exactly.
can you do it again?
And then there's a common thread. There's like a lot of people from the MENA region, so like North Africa and Middle East, a lot of Tunisian, Moroccan brands, Lebanese. And then yeah, little by little, I was doing more and more of it. And then I started reaching out to brands that I wanted to work with because I'd started to build this credibility, you know. So I felt like, okay, I can put myself out there also, like, you know, reach out to brands I really want to work with. So yeah, that's how it happened. And this is like 3.5 years ago now. So yeah. But I have to say, for the past year and a half, it's taken another turn where I don't only do events in London, but I do them in Paris and Dubai and a few in New York, which are places where, except for Dubai, places where I've lived for a long period of time. So I have that network and I feel comfortable putting something together. Dubai, I've never lived there, but I have a lot of friends there and a lot of connections there. So I've been able, because, you know, I organize these events from London, from my home in London. And it's crazy how, thanks to, you know,
it's crazy,
you know, the
sometimes
internet, the like just calls and just things are so accessible now that, you know, you're able to not be there and just, you know, organize something. It's great.
Yeah, the power of technology when
exactly.
used for the right reasons.
Yeah.
So I've told you this before.
Yes.
But I really think you're such a natural at what you do. And I think everyone who's seen you at work will say that. But is there, like, what is the process? How do you approach it?
It all depends on the brand. So I get asked a lot to do events, and so taste is subjective, right? So if I'm not a big fan of something, maybe somebody else is going to be, right? But ultimately, it's about the brand. So let's say my process would be like, it's when you look at all the brands that I've worked with, there is a common thread. It's very me, let's say,
Yeah.
because although the brands are all different, I mean, I am very eclectic, right? So I
Yeah,
like a lot
so
of
you can
different
fit
things.
into
Yeah,
different, yeah.
exactly. So that there's also that. But yeah, I think it's first I meet the founder. It's having something. It's having this first connection with the founder, with the person I have in front of me, and
You're so good at very quickly understanding the brand or the
yeah,
founder. Because also, I mean, sometimes, yes, the brand is already established, so you can already get a sense of what they stand for.
absolutely.
But then you also have instances where it's a new brand,
Yeah.
right? So it's
Many
really
times it's a new
translating
brand.
the
Yeah,
vision that's not
absolutely.
out there yet.
Exactly. And it's working closely with them, but not too much. Like I recently worked with the brand that I was really micromanaged, and I have a hard time with that because I want the founder to trust me. Of course, I understand people work differently. Some people need a bit more visibility on all the steps. I want the person to trust me also, and just to have these certain boundaries. I am an open book and I am full transparency. So I'm really there to show the process, but without being micromanaged. You know, it's like trust me, trust the process also. And having like weekly meetings, giving a full, oh, this is what we're going to do with the flower, this is that, because I need the sign off of my
Yeah.
client, of course, because they're paying for things and I
Yeah.
want them to be happy. It's all about my client being happy. That I know that I've done a good job when my client is happy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if that answered your question. I can't remember.
No, it makes sense. I think you're very much a people's person.
I'm a people's person. My husband says you
So-
should have done this your whole life. I'm like, yeah, but it's
It's-
coming to
yeah,
this.
it's-
I had to do
yeah.
everything I did before in order
Exactly.
to
Yeah.
because this literally I never asked for it. It just
No.
literally happened.
For example, if you didn't have your own brand,
Yeah.
you wouldn't be able to relate to like the founder's perspective
Exactly.
around how certain things are so
Absolutely.
important, which may not seem like it
Yeah.
at first.
Like for example, one thing that I always tell my clients or just future clients or brand is take your time. Good things take time. There's a
Yeah.
moment to do things, and you need to go for it,
Yeah.
definitely, but good things take time.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I wish I had told myself,
Yeah.
to take more time and not to be in a rush and
Yeah.
not to be saying yes to everything. Yeah.
And actually enjoy it as well, because otherwise you're just running around.
Exactly.
And like, yeah, it's a lot. It can be a lot.
Yeah.
Once you get into this race,
Yeah.
it's quite easy to lose track.
And there's space for everyone, and I believe in competition. Competition is good. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't believe in competition in the sense that like I don't like competition, but yeah, there's competition everywhere and
Yeah.
it's healthy,
Healthy
and I believe
competition,
there's
yeah.
space for
Yeah.
there's a space for everyone, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, I agree.
We're really lucky. Nothing is really saturated. Like the world is your oyster. There's
Yeah.
something for everyone. So
Yeah.
I think there's space for everybody.
So, what does there's this misconception or misunderstanding or maybe judgment
Yep.
that sometimes PR can be a lot of fluff.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So, why do you think that is? And what is on the flip side of that? Then what is good PR versus bad PR?
I think also there's a lot of misinterpretation of intentions, you know? Like for me, it's always been hard. I actually don't really like being seen as a PR because it comes with like, I mean, I don't want to say negative connotation, but a bit of that,
Yeah, I know
being
what you
enough, a
mean,
bit of
yeah.
an opportunist and like always being after something and like asking for favors because ultimately as a PR, you do need to be cheeky, you know? You have to be cheeky, culotté, as we say in French.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to be, but like for me, it's I take, but I give, I give. I take, I give, I give. It's like it's a win-win situation, and I just think that it's also reaching out to the right people, having the right support system around you, and like working with good people. Yeah, it can seem fluffy, but it depends on how things are done.
Yeah.
And you have to stay true to who you are, but just really be there for your client and like also manage expectations. You know, you can't be saying yes to everything and then not deliver. You know,
Yeah.
For me, for example, I just do project based. Again, managing expectation. I don't want to disappoint people, you know? I know that if I do an event, I'm going to do
Yeah.
it really well. But if I have to deliver on a monthly basis, press, celebrity endorsement, red carpet, this and that, like it's a lot.
Yeah,
And
it's a constant,
then
like,
you know, you're taking money
Yeah.
from brands who are trying to make it, and like you know, PR can be quite
yeah.
expensive, you know.
And you need to deliver
And you need
on
to
the
deliver.
expectations or the targets or
Exactly.
whatever it is.
So that's
Yeah.
why for me, I believe in project based because because of that.
And for you, what's the most rewarding, or what's the part that you enjoy the most about putting an event together?
Seeing when people are having a good time. It's just the
Yeah.
interaction between people.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, the energy in
The
the room,
energy.
people meeting new people.
You know how many
and
times I've
connecting.
sat people next to each other and then later on they become good friends?
Yeah.
Do you know how that makes me feel?
Yeah.
And I'm not like praising myself, oh, it's thanks to me, not at
No,
all. But like
no,
secretly
not-
in my
yeah.
mind, I'm like,
That's yeah.
you know, I don't know. I like you said, you know, I'm a
Yeah.
connector and I do this really naturally. I don't know. It's always been who I am. I'm not trying hard. And you know, people say, and I know people laugh and they're like, oh, Tara's such a social butterfly. But I don't think it's a bad thing, you know, because it's really genuine, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to, and I know some people when they say this, I don't want to say jealousy, but it's a bit of insecurities. I'm sorry, it comes from a place of insecurity because I'm really, I mean, I don't want to throw flowers at myself, but I'm a genuine person. I'm not trying
Yeah.
anything. Like, it's just who I am.
And I have
You
to
know?
say, because I didn't know you personally before, and I wouldn't say I made assumptions, but you just never know what the person is actually going to be like,
Of
you know,
course.
especially in a field that, as I told you before, I wasn't so familiar with.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how does it work? You know, like
Yeah.
this person has to go around asking for favors or asking for people to come or
Yeah.
like making this happen or pushing for this and that. I'm like, you know, then who is the person?
I
you
know. It's hard.
And actually, I was really surprised by how genuine and honest and actually very authentic you are. And yeah, I think it
Yeah,
speaks
and
a lot to who you are as a person.
Yeah.
So you don't have to throw flowers at yourself.
yeah,
I
no,
will.
but you know what I mean. You're so sweet. Thank you. I mean, that's it. I won't add anything.
Okay, let's
And
see.
also, I just want to add one thing is like, I think a long time ago, I understood that everybody's different. You know, people have different energy. This is why I think I'm very in peace with myself and people around me. I don't make assumptions. I'm not, if somebody can't come, they can't come. If this person has this, that, I don't know, like everybody's different. Everybody
Yeah.
has different things going on in their life,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And you always have to put yourself in other people's position. And I think that's why I'm a really understandable person. Yeah, I don't know if that
Yeah.
makes sense, but
Yeah, no,
it's really,
it totally makes sense because I think with that comes an element of not taking things personally.
yeah, exactly.
So
Exactly.
nothing is personal, you
Yeah.
know? And
Yeah.
I think once you remove this filter or this layer of like
Yeah.
complexity that people may have
Yeah.
sometimes, it's actually so liberating.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's understanding that
Yeah.
everybody's different, everybody has their
Yeah.
own thing going on, and and it's not personal.
And one of my questions was, how did you build this network and community over time? But I think it's self-explanatory
That's
now.
that,
Like
yeah.
it's just who you are, you know?
And it's my travel,
Yeah.
you know. I mean, I grew up
Yeah.
in Paris. It's, you know, there's a lot going on. I went to a big school. When I was traveling, I always traveled so much. New York, imagine New York living
Yeah.
in 9 years. Like I hold an American nationality, so I was lucky enough that after university I was able to stay and work. But you know how many people I saw come and go?
And
But
New York is such a good school for that, right?
absolutely.
Like
It's opened my mind in such a different
open-minded,
way.
quick,
Absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
I would, if I did not experience New York, I would not be the same person today. Definitely.
Yeah, it really teaches you to just put yourself out there.
Exactly.
And if it
Exactly.
works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
like, you know, meeting people from different backgrounds, different social status, whatever
Yeah.
that means. I think you're so
The
exposed
yeah, the
to
ex-
such
yeah.
different type of people, ethnicity,
Mm-hmm.
social background, and it's really enriching.
Yeah, it gives you so many different perspectives on life.
Yeah.
And yeah, I
New
guess
York is a great school.
that's the thing.
life
Yeah,
school.
if you
Yeah.
survive it,
Yes, yes.
then it
yes,
can be a great
definitely,
school.
for
Yeah.
sure.
So one of the things I was thinking about when we were putting the event together is, again, as I mentioned, it's new to me. So how does The people that are invited to these events, how do they not get event fatigue in a certain way? I
Very
guess
good
maybe
question.
they're quite extroverts themselves and they enjoy it.
Very good question. So if I was only doing London, I would be screwed.
Okay.
You know, I would
Yeah.
not be able, because let's say I take on between 2 to 4 events a month. Imagine if I did 4 events in London. People would be fed up of
Yeah.
me. Because of course I have a certain network, but I do slide DMs to people that I don't know also, you know. Social media, that's great because it's
Yeah.
you know, you see you meet people at different events, because I also am invited to
Yeah.
events that I don't organize, and
So
I'm
it's
simply a
constantly
guest.
growing.
Exactly,
Yeah.
it's constantly growing, and it's also the reason why I attend a lot of events, is to grow my network. But it's always done with such genuinity. I never have like a back thought, and it's just little by little growing my network, and then being mindful of not constantly inviting the same person, or constantly like, you know, I have one of my really good friends. She has a huge following, and she gets paid to go to events, right? But she knows, and she always tells me, you can count on me. If you want me to come to an event that's very important, that you think is going to make a difference, if I'm there, I will be there. But otherwise, try to get me a little bit of money. You know, try to get me a little, you know, just a little check. But so, and the thing is that I work with brands that, you know, they just started, or they don't have such huge budgets. So I'm always very careful with that. I try to get them the best deals. And I don't have a budget for attendance fee, for example, like all these big brands do, right? So I'm very mindful of that.
Balancing act.
It's balancing, it's choosing the right person. And the person knows also, you know, like some of the press, if it makes sense, if it's a brand that they would really enjoy, they're always thankful. People are always thankful to be invited. Some people can be you know, annoying and fatty, as you say, and they do communicate that to me. So I'm like, I'm mindful of that. Next time I won't invite them, or you know, I'll just wait for the next event. But the fact that I do events a lot in Paris and Dubai,
Creates a bit of diversity.
exactly, it creates some diversity.
You can mix it around.
Definitely, yeah.
I want to go back to your cultural, mix of cultures, but focus a little bit on the Iranian part of it, which you already touched upon, especially with one of your recent events that you attended, which was also a huge moment culturally for Iran.
Yes. Well, it was not you're talking about the Festival of Cannes, yes. So the movie that I attended, I would have loved it to be on the next day, was the movie that won the Palme d'Or. But the one that I attended, it was from this French, I mean, I don't want to make a mistake, but it was the movie Alpha. And Golshifteh Farahani, who today is one of the prominent, the most, you know, well-known Iranian actress, but she was not playing an Iranian. She was just like the main character, one of the main characters, alongside Tara Rahim, who was one of my favorite actors. So it was super special for me to be there, in the sense that Golshifteh Farahani is a very close friend of my family. I've known her my whole life. But on the second day was the movie of Jafar Panahi, who won the Palme d'Or. But it was just very special being there. It was
just overall a special time for Iran and
for
the
Iran,
arts, with what's
really
happening politically.
Absolutely. And you know, my first time at the at the Cannes Film Festival was maybe 20 years ago. I mean, I was a child. My mother's partner was long-term partner was Abbas Kiarostami, who was he passed away a couple of years ago. But he had won the Palme d'Or then. So that was really special. So yes, it's great to see like that in art and design and music. We're talking about Iran in a different light. Every Iranian has a different relationship with Iran. And that's why I started Zanae.
Yes, so Zanae, tell me about that.
Yes, so Zanae, I started with a good friend. It's completely invented, but Zan means woman.
Okay.
So Zanae, I don't know, I just invented it.
Okay, I like it.
So I started Zanae with a good friend of mine, Nika. Nika has a brand called Paradise Row. We met during Fashion Week. We were both presenting our collection at London Fashion Week. And we started talking, and it was very interesting because she was like, oh my God, another Iranian designer. Like, I don't know anybody in this space, in this creative space who's Iranian. I was like, what? That's completely the opposite of what I know, you know? Like, I told you, my uncle
Yeah.
is Iranian. I mean, there's so many great Iranian creatives around me. And she comes from, you know, like, very business background, her family, all that. And she's true. We're touching on the fact that, like, a lot of Iranians growing up, their parents want them to become a lawyer, a doctor,
Yeah, very traditional.
very traditional,
Yeah.
far from like,
Yeah.
you want to be a painter, you want to be a designer. No, that can be a hobby, you know, it's not something that you can make money out of it. So that is, let's say, a kind of stereotype.
Yeah.
So they were like, oh my God, we should do something about this. Like, you know, maybe we should start interviewing people like Iranian creatives around the world that are actually making a living, you
Yeah.
know, and creating something. And so that's how it started. And it was like a bit of a, you know, COVID passion project. I don't know, I can't remember how many episodes we did, but like we interviewed, you know, actors and interior designers and beauty estheticians and designers.
So varied.
Yeah, very, very broad and
So cool.
yes, and it was great. And it was just, you know, what was really cool is that not only Iranians were watching us. So we did these live interviews on Instagram, but that then we posted on the page, on our Zanaya page. And yeah, a lot of my friends who are not Iranian, they're like, oh my God, it's so cool and so interesting to
Yeah.
learn about this person's journey, you know. And voila, and it was just a way for us to talk about Iranians, Iran in a different light.
Yeah.
You know, some are exiled, so many different profiles, and I think that's it's.
So are the recordings still available?
Yes, of course. If you go
okay.
on the Zanai page, you can see all the different interviews. Yeah, and they're really cool. I mean, we really enjoyed doing them because I
love
feel like
that.
so many people are talking about Iran also, and not in the nicest light. So we're like, let's get back on it. And there's so many people that we want to interview still, you know.
yeah.
And it would be nice also to not only do women and also get into men, because a lot of really cool,
Yeah.
you know, creative male are doing great things. So yeah, it's in the talks. Yes, check it out. The one of the last ones I did was India Mahdavi. You know, she's this big interior designer and furniture designer, and she's amazing. She's amazing. So, and I really want to do Gorshifte. That's my dream. So Gorshifte, please. I'm gonna manifest that. I really want to interview her. So yeah.
Well, fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed that's gonna happen.
We've
Yeah.
broadcasted the message
Yes.
now. So one other thing I was wondering is that you mentioned that you're now a mother of two, and so how do you and you're still so full of energy and life, which is
I know.
so
I'm
impressive.
told all the time.
But are there times where obviously you have to attend an event or a social commitment and your energy battery is low, you know? You're human.
Of course.
What's your hack? What do you do? What's your reset
I mean,
button?
not really. I don't know. I don't really do anything, to be honest. First of all, I think it's getting myself ready. If I like how I feel, if I like how I feel in an outfit, that's definitely going to help me get out of the house.
Yeah.
For sure.
The
If I
psychology
feel
of,
good,
like,
yes,
how
that's
you're
crazy.
dressed. It's
Absolutely.
so true. It's so powerful.
It is. It's really powerful. If I like the way I'm feeling, you know, and what I'm wearing, that's definitely going to help me get out of the house. And but yeah, I mean, I don't drink coffee. I have matchas from time to time, and honestly, my husband he's always vouching for me. He really lifts me up. Yeah, I have to
That's
say.
the
So
best.
it's very
Having
helpful.
a partner that's like
Yeah.
supportive,
Yeah,
rooting
yeah.
for you,
Absolutely.
pushing for you.
It's yeah.
Oh, that's the best.
I don't take that for granted.
So what is next? What's the future of
You know,
Tara's world?
to be very honest, I don't have this ambition of like working with the huge brands for events. I mean, of course, if I'm approached by a big brand or whatever, of course I will do it. I will be grateful. But ultimately, I love discovering new brands, and I want to help brands. You know, They don't have big
And
budgets.
that beginning, that is such a pivotal time
Yeah,
for brands.
absolutely, exactly.
Like they're, as a brand, as a founder, you're so grateful for
Yeah.
like an expert working with you and like holding your hand through a moment
Exactly.
that is just so
Helping each other.
overwhelming
Yeah.
as a founder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, I was saying that I don't do retainer, like I do one-off, I do project based. But for example, this brand that I've loved for years called Bokan Couture or Bochan. It's a Turkish brand, two sisters and their mother. They've had their brand for 10 years, but they opened their store in Marylebone 2.5 years ago. I did the launch of that. So we did like a little cocktail event at the store, and then we did a dinner at Isabel. And it's been 2.5 years. We've done, I don't know, 6 events together. We did like a press trip in the countryside. I even did an event for them in Paris. And then just 2 weeks ago, we did an event on Harrods. They got into Harrods. So it's like being that was such a milestone, you know? And then hopefully we're going to go to Dubai at the end of the year. So, you know, we've really it's helping each other also. They've really been there for me also. And I love the fact that they keep trusting me. You know, they know they can always count on me. And it's like building a relationship. And it doesn't always go as planned. I can't tell you that I've nailed every event. No, I mean, no, that's not how it goes. I mean, they usually go, in general, I have a good track record, let's say, but like, I can't tell you that I want to work again with each single brand. Exactly.
You can't be the best version of yourself.
I need to make money, of course, but I'm not doing it to be like a sellout. I'm not taking on every brand just to make money, because then you lose the authenticity, right?
Exactly.
It's all about authenticity in the end.
Thank you so much.
Of course,
You've
thank you.
clearly got a gift, many gifts, and you're very talented in what you do. And I'm glad we finally
It's so nice speaking to you. It's very easy speaking to you, and you're doing it perfectly also. I loved your questions, everything, and I'm very excited for everything what the future holds for you, because it's going to be an interesting and exciting journey also for you.